Micah is a constant, loyal, steadying presence, but Rachel knows he wants their relationship to be more than friendship. Rachel almost wishes for that too, but she just doesn't feel that way about him. She isn't sure she wants that kind of relationship with any boy, and wonders what that might mean. Hi, my name is Henry, and welcome to Mag Reviews. In this episode, I will review the book Where the Heart Is. Rachel is a 13-year-old girl like any other, but one major problem that plagues her family is poverty. Rachel's parents haven't really worried about money as much as they have during the plot of Where the Heart Is, because it is during the story that they realize that they are severely in debt and are just barely scraping by. Luckily, Rachel's best friend Micah is always there to cheer her up in tough times, or so she thought. At the beginning of the story, the Townsend family moves in across the street and really sets the tone for how deep Rachel's family is in poverty due to how big and expensive the Townsend's house is. Rachel gets hired by them to tend to their animals while they're away, and she sees it as a quick way to earn money for her parents. Unfortunately, the animals end up making Rachel's life a whole lot more difficult due to the aggressive behavior of a couple of them. Since it's the summer, Rachel decides to go to the beach near her rickety old house with her younger sister Ivy and her best friend Micah. Although Micah and Rachel are best friends, Micah feels a lot more than that for Rachel. After he confesses, Rachel feels weird because she thought that this would be the happiest moment in any girl's life, but she feels nothing. She thinks she'll feel something in time, but that turns out not to be the case. Rachel is confused about that and realizes that she might not even like any boys. In my opinion, Where the Heart Is was a very well-orchestrated novel with multiple different themes that made it really stand out from all the other books that I've read. It felt like the multiple themes like poverty and romance were all developing together at different speeds, while working together to add many different wonderful scenarios to different points of the plot. I think that really added a lot of depth to the story of Where the Heart Is, and that is one of the reasons why I adored this book so much. The choice of setting that Jo Knowles made also seemed like the perfect pick, due to the fact that the beach that Rachel and her friends go to a lot happened to be a great place for really intricate interactions between the characters, where they would play games in the water and show the reader more about the characters and what they're like. The setting also really showed the aspect of poverty in Where the Heart Is, because of the really old and cheap house that Rachel and her family live in, as well as the huge and obviously expensive house owned by the Townsends that move in next door. To me, the worst part of Where the Heart Is was the way that it was written in the present tense. Even though that was my biggest problem with the novel, I'm pretty sure it's more of a personal thing than a real problem, because most of the books that I read are written in a much different way. Although the way it was written was really annoying at first, about 3 chapters in, I had become accustomed to the present tense, and it wasn't even a problem at all. One thing that I would add to the novel is add some more to the ending, because it was pretty open-ended, and I really wanted to see what was going to happen to the two lovers in the end. As I was reading Where the Heart Is, I noticed that it is not only a wonderful read, but it is also one of the type to tear at your heartstrings and really make you feel many different emotions, from happiness to sadness to anger and to sympathy, all due to the events that take place in the story. Where the Heart is a book that I would recommend to anyone from the ages 12 plus who is looking to read a slight romance-based novel with a big spin. Because of the fact that there is really only one thing that I didn't like about Where the Heart Is, I would give it a 5 out of 5 star rating because of the deep emotion that it pushed me into feeling and the amazing poverty-oriented romance story that it told.